Yeah, FluidData came over as somebody else who'd won the board had suggested that this was going on. So I don't know exactly what he's capable of. We haven't seen him in any other previous Smite nights, but we do know that Tebble is the one that nobody wanted to face.
I mean, this is going to be an interesting matchup where, we're not seeing any mages in this. We're both seeing two big high damage dealers. Both of them have a stun available in their kit. Both are capable of doing disgustingly high damage. It's going to be an interesting match to see how this all plays out, especially with Kali. I'm curious how Kali's wave clear is going to be in this. Tebble obviously can pop that too, can deal that quick damage, and, it won't be bursting down a wave minion lane.
Tebble's
But
also a
we'll
big
be
fan
able
of using the
to
3 to
clear through
harass,
it.
and builds it really badly.
But Kali could just be absolutely disgusting in a 1v1 situation. It might just be a case of trying to pull Artemis away from her minions and then just jumping on top of her and dealing that damage right off the bat. This is his only target. Kali doesn't have to worry about anyone else getting in her way in this, and that really does let her shine.
Yeah, as mentioned in the chat, her passive is basically causing extra damage towards her assassinate target. When there's only one person to assassinate, that could spell trouble.
Plus, she's using the awesome convention skin, which kind of makes her look like the She-Hulk, which is pretty awesome looking.
Trains of FluidData wins the tournament, he gets the convention skin code, so I don't know what he'd be doing with that.
He's like immediately just taking it to eBay. I made $15 at Chaos D1's expense. Yeah! Gets himself a sash that just says that.
Now, Kali's heal from the passive upon getting the kill is what, 25%, or is it more than that?
Oh, it's a lot more than that. I think it heals her up to like 80%.
That is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, that's, part of what makes her such a steamroll champion is if she can get that, or God, rather, if she can get that first kill, she really can't just eat through a team like that. I've seen more than one pentakill exclusively because of that ability, just managed to keep her up for so long.
Yeah, it's making you convinced. 80%. Yeah, I think Tebble's got his work cut out for him. But again, he said he was going to friggin' sweep this thing, so I figured I'd put him up to the test.
I even though with all the great things Kali has, I would not take anything away from Artemis. Artemis is a very, very strong god. She does a lot of just pure damage, and she has that natural crit ability to her. She's got the range. It just comes from keeping away from Kali. The only thing, Kali's going to have that jump, so Tebble is going to have to be on his game to keep that space between them and make sure she can't just jump on top of him and crush him.
So they both loaded in pretty quick. I guess no toaster problems on this end. There we go. Let's get those down. Tebble's already starting with Death's Toll, followed by the boots.
Plus meditation and a multi-pot, so he's going with a pretty safe start to this. Maybe trying to see what Kali is able to do and judge things off of that.
Kali right now seems to be just buying level 2 boots. Hand of the Gods, that's going to be nasty. And some potions, both healing and mana.
That's actually, I wanted to note this last time. This is the first time we see someone pick up the Hand of the Gods, so this might mean we're going to see Kali jungle right off the bat and pick up one of those buffs. If she's able to do that, that is an enormous advantage in a 1v1 situation. She'll be lower health, but she's got the potions to survive off that, so if she does decide to go for a buff early on, that's going to be a huge advantage in a 1v1 situation.
If that's the case, Tebble might want to put down some of his traps, not in lane as much as he was going to put them into the jungle. Tebble putting down 2 traps and then immediately recalling. Odd move on his part. They forget an item? Looks like I might just be picking up another multipod.
Minions have spawned.
And we are seeing Kali head off towards that speed camp. She's going right past... Oh, no, she's going to stick at the speed camp and going to pick that up and try to go for that big damage early on with the quick auto attacks to try to take down Tebble.
Grabs that item with very little damage done to herself. Tebble pretty much sticking in the lane and playing it very lane safe at this moment.
Get out of this.
Your middle tower
I'm
is
already
under
going
attack.
after the tower. Oh, immediate damage being done on both ends.
Tebble nicely dances around his traps that forces Kali to back off, or else she'd just be stuck in them. And now she's playing a very dangerous game. She is dancing just all around those traps.
Oh, and gets hit Tebble. Oh, Tebble takes down FluidData pretty fast into this match. I am absolutely terrified of ever fighting him, to be honest. Hope someone takes me out pretty quick.
That was a great job by him. He placed all of those traps down in an area, forced Kali into it. And Kali, I just don't know if she maybe didn't realize how close she was to it. All it took was one of them to happen, and she was just surrounded by minions at that point.
Tebble's still only with half health, being a little bit aggressive on this end. Is he just trying to put on some pressure?
Once again, caught in there, activating his ult, chasing after her. This might be a kill here.
No, manages to
But
survive.
And that's actually probably a good move on FluidData's part to back off and leave that encounter as it was. Tebble actually did have his ult still up, so if he had bothered to chase that kill any further, it was almost undoubtable that ult was immediately going to go out, and that would probably have been a kill right there.
Tebble right now, foregoing getting another level of boots and grabbing 2 stacks of Cursed Gauntlets, so I believe he's going to go Devourers right off the bat. As that is his strategy normally when we see him playing.
It's going to give him that sustain in case this doesn't become what we've seen thus far is just battle, battle, battle. But if Kali decides to go into this one as more of a let's see who can sustain themselves longer in lane and go with that kind of advantage, that is going to be a huge benefit for her to have.
Tebble not having a trap up to dance around right now might not be to his advantage at this point.
Very nice play from both of them. FluidData comes in, hits that stun, gets a few auto attacks off, and then as he's retreating, Tebble goes in, pops that rain of arrows to catch him as he's leaving.
Tebble once again putting the major pressure on FluidData, making sure that he knows, yeah, don't mess with me at this point.
A great pickup though with that Hand of God, because you're even seeing, even though Tebble managed to scare him away, even though Tebble did all that, the lane was still pushed towards Tebble's side. You know, that was against him, all off that Hand of God, which enables to keep the lane pushed in the favor that that FluidData wants. Now he's there, nobody is there. It's just free experience, free money for him.
Tebble already full Devourer's gloves, waiting to start building some stacks at this point. And you do not want Tebble to build stacks. FluidData going in for a damage camp buff now.
He's not using his Hand of God on this yet, though. He used his stun. He's using all that, but the lane minions right now are pushed off, basically frozen. He's gonna head back into lane. It's gonna be pushed against him, but now he does have that red buff, that extra damage.
Your middle
Oh, Tebble using the stun ult. Oh, FluidData managing to escape with very little health again. Tebble just waiting. There's a true hunter with some traps, just waiting for him to screw up.
It's weird, man. A lot of people, when they play Kali, they get a little bit confused by her ult because they aren't sure how to really counteract it, because in that ult, she can't be killed, and she also is immune to just about everything except for stun. So even if this becomes a fight where they go all out immediately and drop those ults, Artemis is still going to be able to stop Kali right there with her boar.
Wondering if Kali might be trying to get in just in time to do some... No. Tebble manages to get out of there even with Kali so close to breathing down his neck. Fluid now running into another jungle camp, looking to renew his damage buff. I'll be ready to pick off and build some more stacks on Devourers, building another level of boots and then getting some attack speed. And Tebble has a very unorthodox build. We see FluidData's building very much across the board, kind of in the similar manner I would. You know, build the first thing to 3, build the second thing to 3. Tebbles has the starter item, only 2 levels of boots still, a fully stacked Devours, and 1 level of attack speed, which I'm not sure what item he'll be building into with that one. Oh, Tebble looks like he might be in trouble here, but no, manages to get away just in time.
It looked like FluidData kind of ran out of mana at that point. Looks like he's also going to try to build that last level of the Hand of God so he can get that stun on it then, hopefully. And finish what I believe is probably going to be Quinn Sides off that
Your
Balance
middle
Blade.
tower is under attack.
He doesn't have enough to afford either of those at this point. Picks up some more potions and heads back into lane.
Tebble taking pot shots at FluidData
Absurd
left and
damage
right.
from those minions.
Again, Tebble, no one to mess with right now. This is kind of why they wanted to ban Artemis from our commentary matches earlier, because Tebble is absurdly powerful in this kind of 1v1 scenario. You don't want to let him by himself.
Tower is under attack.
And that tower is just about to go down at this point. That is going to do it.
Your team has
He's going
destroyed
to take
a middle
first
enemy
tower at 6.5 minutes into this match.
FluidData once again running back. Building up, as you said, Quinn Size. Which Quinn Size were, I believe, going to be changed in the next patch, and they're going to become Quinn's Blade again, doing the max health damage removal.
Yeah, that was mostly a move to prevent warriors from being able to take down squishy targets with only one item and then just being able to build pure tankiness after that. So this is an item that'll be changing soon, though it's still going to have some use for hunters and those of the sort, but it's going to be less seen now because it doesn't have as much of a power to it.
I'm 2 beers in, Tebble's going after the mana camp, while FluidData, just a little bit off, is going after the speed camp. Let's see how this pays off. Oh, Tebble is just there to build... No, he's got the mana camp. Is he going to go after Fluid? See if he can get a flank in? I'm not sure what he's planning right now. He's going in for the flank. Oh, unfortunately not really able to control the situation there, but did enough damage to Fluid to let him know, yeah, you need to get the hell out of here. Level's pretty much even.
He's starting to finish his item now. He went with the Warriors tab. He's starting to build up that Balance Blade. Probably in all cases here also going to be going immediately into those Quinn Size as well. We see Artemis has basically a little over a 1k advantage right now, even though there's only 1 kill on the map, and that's a pretty big gold difference. That could almost be a tier 3 item there. So it'll be interesting to see FluidData come back from that.
Oh, FluidData using Kali's ult to tear Tebble down. Now she's got a... Kali's on a bit of advantage now.
Yeah, that because of that, her passive, because of that immediate bump up to 80%, even though she was barely alive and probably an auto attack from a minion would have taken her out, she's almost full health now. She's able to push down this tower, and she might be able to deal some big damage to this now.
Tower's going extremely fast. Looks like we will be losing this tower.
Tebble's just popped up, but she's not going to be able to make it back in time to save that tower, so that is going to be a win for Kali there. And she is probably going to head back into lane now that she's basically evened up the gold difference. They maybe grab a jungle buff before she heads completely out.
Tebble can gain some more stacks. I'm not sure how far he's built into Devours, which I believe only go up to 50.
I believe you're correct, either 50 or 60. It takes a while to build that up, though. In these modes, just because anytime the minions get that kill, you're losing the stack there, and there's only one lane to be feeding minions off, especially if you don't go into the jungle frequently. But we're now seeing FluidData actually has the level advantage here. We won't have it for very long, but it is going to show that the complete momentum of this has swifted into a more neutral, even favoring FluidData situation now.
It seems almost as if unless Tebble can get some kind of stun advantage at this point. FluidData once jumping in, getting the... Oh, Tebble burns down FluidData when she makes that move. Again, using that boar to a really well effect. And right now, ability-wise, it seems as if she has picked... FluidData has not picked any abilities that would help him remove that stun. So, advantage Tebble during the ult right now. Tebble even throwing out a taunt.
Good combo. That was a very good combo there, and now the huge damage is going into the Phoenix. It is disgusting. The pure damage that Artemis
Your
can
team
get
has
without
destroyed
any
a
items that
enemy
really add
base.
all that much to physical power at this point. Built an Execution's Axe, but there's no Deathbringer, there's no Heartseeker or anything like that. It is just obscene, just absurdly obscene how much damage Artemis can do on her own.
Fluid looking to kind of recover this now. Tebble very cleverly scattering the traps in front of the Phoenix, almost mockingly, as so there will be no stain. Gets looks like FluidData is just kind of purposefully eating up the traps now, which isn't a bad move, especially if you have a little bit of time. Now with Kali being able to get most of that health back, Tebble going after the speed camp now, an absurdly dangerous thing for him to be in his hands. Tebble also has sold off his starter item so that he could finish off Quinsize. And again, going in for some damage.
And we're seeing that FluidData has picked up that enfeebling curse. It looks like he's going to try to drop that the next chance he can to cut down Artemis' ability to hit those attacks and to keep that save up. It drops down. There goes the ult. Gets stunned off it, though. Is going to have to retreat.
Tebble is chasing now. If FluidData can get out of this, but Tebble is not... Oh! Excellent shot with the 3 takes down FluidData.
And that's the situation. Kali went in with that ult, but it's the one thing that can completely stop her right in the tracks is a stun, and that's what immediately happened. That boar came down, kept her right there, was still able to keep her down, and then even though she managed to get away, she pops up to that 15% health, which is what the buff to her recent ult change did. Wasn't enough. All it took was 1 rain of arrows to put her down. And now it looks like we may be seeing a big Titan push here.
Tebble's already just purposefully pulling this thing out, making sure that the minion waves are behind the Titan, then that Kali will have to go through the minion waves or the long way around. I think Tebble has
looks
this.
like it's going to be it.
Tebble
That is going to do it.
smokes this match. I'm surprised. This was a pretty nice touch and pull, but when Tebble gets in the zone, he's there, and that's it.
Law side, OP.